Greetings, this is Rhythm Works and welcome to my gaming channel, and today, by popular request and vital demand, I'm uploading an archive fight that I had on OWC, and this fight was on the 20th of April 2012, and it was against a guy called Mr. Snowman. Now immediately you can see he's a notorious pump blocker. Now you have two types of pump blockers. The ones that basically pump block and don't know what they're doing, and the ones that pump block and know what they're doing and they fight with great offense. Now Mr. Snowman is definitely one of those fighters, but he's a bit too obvious with the exploit. Now when you see someone basically using pump blocking, you know, the more subtle they use pump blocking, the more skillful you have to be. The more tactless he is at pump blocking, i.e. doing it like a funky chicken. Look, he's just waiting for me to make my first move. And obviously he's got to come to me. But anyway, when someone is basically so blatant in doing the pump block, what are you going to do? Does it make sense to go over to him for him to basically stave off your punches? No, you just stay wherever you are. But this guy, he's a pressure fighter. And, you know, he's got technique. He's definitely got good technique. So the only way I can combat him, knowing what I know that he does, is just by simply utilizing my defense. It's just all about defense. And for me, a win is a win, is a win, is a win. Now, as you can see, I'm not running from him. I'm just basically just trying to find out his style and the timing of his style as well. So that's what I'm doing. But when you see somebody just basically just going in and pump blocking like that, like a demented funky chicken, he needs to see what skill is as well. So that's what I'm trying to do with this guy. What else am I going to be talking about? I'm going to be talking about my feelings on the game since the release. Now, let me just rewind. Fight Night Round 4 was really the game that I dusted off my PlayStation 3 to play. I'm a singer and a songwriter by trade, and when I finish my work, what I like to do is just kick back and watch a movie. That's what I do. Is like I go through phases of making music, listening to music, watching movies, blah 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 blah. But when Fight Night 4 came out, I really was interested in the game and, you know, loved the mechanics and what have you, and that just started me off gaming with more regularity. Now, my feelings on the game when it first came out, when the demo came out, it was mad. There was at least like 10,000 people playing it, and now it's halfway. Well, I wouldn't even say it's halfway dead. It's like it's on life support. But it's a game that I like playing if you play with the right people. The one thing I didn't really like about the game was the developers' willingness to basically take on board too much of what people were saying. You know, if you're going to advertise a game that has blood and cuts and injuries and stuff like that, you need to just have it as that. But then again, I can understand what EA was doing, because it kind of looked arcadey, and in reality, it's like people, they don't get injured that much in a boxing ring, you know, over the course of 12 rounds or 15 rounds. And with that, you know, they had to make a balance. But there were so many people on the forums basically bitching and complaining and moaning and stuff that they were getting beat and knocked out, and they wanted certain things, certain parameters of the mechanics to be relaxed or what have you. Some of it made sense, some of it just didn't make sense, and it just kind of ruined the game. Upon the game's release, when it came out, like I said, a lot of people were basically playing the game. You had at least like 10,000 people playing the game. But then what happened was that with the PSN shutdown with the hackers, all one could do was play the campaign mode or the single player mode or what have you. And although it aided training per se, it didn't give you an idea of how real people fought on the game. So that kind of disappointed me, and, you know, I just kind of fell off playing the game. I fell out of love with the game at that point. My likes and dislikes of the game since playing it from start. Number one was the lobbies. Although the lobbies were kind of exciting in terms of us getting to know about each other in the lobbies, it kind of opened itself up to a lot of abuse, and it just got to the point where it just left a very, very bitter taste in my mouth going into different lobbies and just watching people. I mean, there's trash talking and there's just outright insult and abuse and bad behavior. And, you know, a lot of people who I used to fight when the game came out, you know, people like B. Tierney, and he would tell you this. I used to whoop his ass regular. But because, you know, of the lobbies and stuff like that, there was a lot of hate going on in the lobbies and also in the forums as well. So it kind of just left a bitter taste in my mouth. It's like I just didn't feel comfortable going into the lobbies and you know, picking fights and stuff like that. So what I would do is to hook up with some friends, have them on my friends list, and invite them to my gyms, and basically play like that. And now, if you look at the game, there's no one in the lobbies, no one there whatsoever. So all that technology, you know, to implement the lobby feature of the game is just not used at all, and I just think it's just a waste. One of the best examples of how a game can be used to its great effect is something that my friend Pemby66 mentioned, and that's Gran Turismo 5. If you look at Gran Turismo 5, it has a spectating mode that makes you want to look at the race. You know, it's not a case where I've got to wait until the next race comes up. You know, it makes you look at the race and, you know, see how other people drive and how they handle the road and things like that. And I think they should have implemented spectator mode in this game, because that way you can see how everybody else is fighting, and it would kind of basically teach you how to combat that and how to adapt to people's styles, because that's what fighters do in real life. If, like, you know, if Rocky Marciano wanted to know stuff about Joe Louis, they would basically get footage of their opponent's fights to see how, you know, how they fought and how their styles were and things like that. And I don't see it should be any different within Fight Night. The spectator mode was definitely missing in there. I mean, I liked round 4 simply because of the fact that you just press and play, press and play, press and play, and whatever opponents you come up against, like, you don't know their record, you don't know their strengths, you don't know their weaknesses, and just basically you just go in, you know, and you just press start and you play and you fight. And whatever the style is of your opponent, you just adapt to that and try and win the fight by knockout or by decision. I don't care. A win is a win. Is a win. Is a win. My likes on the game is that obviously the graphics, just the way how the game looks. I mean, there are good players and bad players. There are players who are trying to get to grips with the game and try to adapt to the styles of other fighters and things like that. And, you know, there are people who want to really learn the game. But you have, like, you know, outright spammers that just makes the game look bad. 6'8", 88-inch reach opponents on OWC does not appeal to me in the slightest. And if I see any of those, I just leave, because it doesn't make any sense. You know, you see a fighter that has an average build, you know that they have some kind of skill. But if you see someone that's steroid up the wazoo, it doesn't make any sense. It makes the game look arcadey. Another dislike that I didn't like about the game was the availability of XP and boosts, to be able to buy boosts from the get-go. I think boosts are something that, you know, you should basically work towards. I really do. I mean, all now, you know, nearly a couple of years. Is it a couple of years now since the game's been released? I have not bought a single boost, and I can tell by going into an OWC fight who has got boosts, because you see a fighter that basically looks so heavy, but he moves so fast, and I can see straight away that he's boosted up the wazoo. Simple as, you know, and that doesn't make a good fight. I know micro-commerce is the thing that keeps game developers and game companies food on their table and things like that. I appreciate that, but at the same time, it's like, you know, we pay a lot of money for these games, and I think the input that we give, you know, some of the input that we give is not really the right input to be received and to be implemented. I don't feel that the changes that they've made to the game were necessary. It's kind of, you know, 6 of one and half a dozen of the other. The availability of buying XP was a big problem for me. I just think at the end of the day, XP are experience points. How are you going to buy experience points when you don't have the experience to play the game? It doesn't make any sense. That's just, you know, one of my pet peeves. Yeah, another one of my dislikes are rage quitters. I don't like rage quitters. I don't like people who rage quit. It doesn't make any sense. It's like, you know, if you're going to lose gracefully, you know. Just lose gracefully at the end of the day. You know, I know for some it's not going to make any difference staying in the game longer than need be. You know, some people will have that as an excuse or a reason. But at the end of the day, some people try all sorts. They rage quit. They pull out the internet cord and, you know, lag switch and all that kind of stupidness. And, you know, that just doesn't make for an enjoyable game. Common sense will basically tell you at the end of the day that when you go into the selection screen and you see somebody that's basically steroided up, 6'8", blah 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 blah, max height, max reach, that it doesn't make sense to play them. You know, when you go in there with a, let's say, an 84 overall fighter, and you see somebody with a 91, it doesn't make sense. it doesn't make sense to play them because they're modded out. Basically, they're just modded out to just whoop your ass in 3 rounds flat, and that's where the XP comes in for you to work towards to get to that level. You know, rage quitting is for wimps. Don't like it. What else? Oh yeah, streaming. I've entered into this streaming thing very, very, very late, but I can see why people have been doing it. It's like it's like just setting up your own TV channel. You know, YouTube is one thing where you can basically put up videos and, you know, show the world your skills and what have you. And you have people subscribing and what have you. But streaming is a thing where obviously you can basically fight in real time and you can get an audience for that. Yes, I am into the streaming thing. I've got the streaming bug like you don't believe. Yeah, I set up my Twitch account. Well, I have 2 game capture devices. The recent one that I bought was Elgato. I strongly recommend that if you're interested in doing commentary, setting up a channel and stuff like that. Elgato is the way to go, for real, for sure. Before that, I had my Ava Media Game Capture HD. Now, I'm not making that redundant. You know, I still use that because, you know, I can basically just record MP4 files with that and just convert them and edit them as I will. So what I do with my Ava Media, I plug that into my other TV and I plug my my Elgato in my main TV. If I need to record fights on the fly, I can just basically move my PlayStation because all the leads that I need are already in the respective TV sets and extensions and stuff. So all I need to do is just basically just move my PlayStation, plug in and go. Simple as that. And then, you know, I can accumulate a lot more material as well, you know, and just separate the two so that I can just cherry pick what I need to cherry pick from each source. But yeah, the Elgato is definitely something I would recommend people to get, to invest in, or to even investigate. They've collaborated with XSplit so that you can live stream your gameplay. You can live stream your gameplay also through XSplit. They also have it where you can incorporate your Twitch account through Elgato as well. So, you know, so there's different ways of streaming, but they all kind of work together. Forgive my ambiguity in not explaining this like an expert. I'm not really an expert. I've just literally got into the streaming thing less than a week. I've spent more or less a week trying to put everything together and set up my accounts and, you know, set up my gaming channels and stuff like that, my YouTube and stuff. So I'm new, but I'm very excited at the prospect of bringing gameplay to you from different sources and stuff like that. So I'm very pleased with that. The link is on the description box below, twitch.tv/RhythmWorks Gaming. I hope to be putting on some tournaments. I hope to be putting on some random gameplays and stuff like that with different games. I mean, I love Fight Night Champion, but that's not the only game I play. But I was requested to put up some fights up on my channel, so that's what I'm starting to do. What's next? Oh yes, my hopes for Fight Night or Fight Night Round 6 or whatever they're gonna call the franchise. What's expected is that it will be a release title on the new PlayStation, definitely. I think that the game will look extraordinary. I hope that with a lot of input from the fans, the genuine fans of the game, EA will do what's needed. Even though there's so many things wrong with the game, there are people who play the game that makes the game look good. That's the one thing about the game that I love, is like, you know, the community, you know, some of the community that are, you know, taking up the fold, the new guard as opposed to the old guard. I mean, I'm part of the old guard per se, but, you know, I still appreciate what the new guard is basically doing, like Fight Night's Finest and Doc Dossey and Sakaruba 1982, I think, and my good friend Pemby 66. They're all people that are trying to keep the game alive and, you know, do what's needed to keep the interest, you know. And, you know, sometimes it's not even about the equipment that you basically use. It's like, you know, it's your passion for what you give back to the game. I watch a lot of Fight Night videos, and I've got to admit, some people who have the best equipment and the best sound makes crap video because of their personality, I suppose. But you have some people who are so passionate. It's like they don't have the best camera, that their sound is not that great. But I find myself watching those videos because of the fact that you can see, you know, you can't disguise the passion in the gameplay. You can't disguise the passion from the contributors. So that's all positive in my view. Yeah. whatever happens, I will be purchasing the next fight night, whatever happens. You know, I've got to be in it to win it. I think the mistake that I basically made was that I didn't play enough of Fight Night Champion as I should have done from the very beginning. I mean, when I first started playing it, I reached to, you know, the top 100. I was 99. I was 99 in the world. And I was happy with that. I was happy with that. But then with all the flag glitching, with all the alternate accounts and the sniping and the passing of belts to people, you know, passing of belts and all that kind of stuff, it just made the whole thing look dirty. You know what I'm saying? So with me, I just like to, you know, to have fights with my, you know, some of my friends on my PSN network and things like that, and just, you know, just kind of stay out of all of that crap. You know, it's a great game. I love the game. You know, I love the game. You know, I love the community. I love the positivity within, you know, the community that's keeping the game alive right now. Like I said, everyone who loves the game, I know is looking forward to his next appearance on the PlayStation's next incarnation, the PS4. You know, I can't wait. I just can't wait. Oh, by the way, in relation to the streaming, if you're interested in any of the products that I mentioned, I will feature the main websites, the main links to their websites in the description box below, and you can check it out. I do recommend them. I do recommend them if that's what you intend doing. I mean, the market is flooded with gaming channels. Flooded. And, you know, and some people do it to make the money, and, you know, and obviously, you know, the corporate has got a big handle and angle on the whole thing. And for me, it's a hobby, and, you know, it's something that I like to do in order to basically, you know, meet friends and meet like-minded gamers and stuff like that. You know, I'm not going to wait for 1,000 views to earn 90 cents. It don't make sense, you know what I mean, when I've got a career, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's all good. It's all good. You know, it's all relative to what you basically want to do. Do you know what I mean? So it's all blessed. That's basically really about it for now. Please rate, comment, subscribe, and all of that lovely stuff. Thank you for stopping by, and enjoy the rest of the fight. And I'll catch you later. Peace. Bless.
Yeah, exactly, Joe. I mean, it's like an orchestra. Everything is put together beautifully. You got the wind instruments, you got the percussion instruments, you got the string instruments. Everybody, the cut man, the trainer, the manager, got the right people in camp. Everyone has done their job, and you're seeing the results of it.
A barrage of punches that time. Good combination.
Yeah, that's what you want. You don't want one at a time. You want 3 or 4.
Bam Bam's defense. Is it ever good? Look at how easy he's able to block those punches. And now a little combination punching, landing both shots. His concern right now is protecting that cut. What should he be doing defensively?
Well, right now,
big shot there. Wow, crushing blow upstairs. Down he goes, now up he gets.
And if he wants to stay up, he's going to have to grab on, kill a little time.
Oh, and he returns fire with a left hand. Left to the body. Good exchange, he fires back. Bam Bam's gone into a defensive shell, but that shell has cracks in it.
Yeah, it does, and the reason why it's getting cracked is because his opponent is confident that with those earmuffs on, you know, going into that peekaboo defense that he is, he knows he's handcuffed, so he's putting together 3, 4, 5 punches where normally he would only throw 1 or 2, worried something's going to come back.
Pulls the trigger right away with the left hand after getting tagged himself. And that's the end of round 8. Well, we've seen this before, a fighter with a bad cut, and sometimes a fighter that now has a much greater sense of urgency.
Yeah, right now, if he was gambling, if he was in a casino, he's rolling the dice. He's hoping to come up with 7.
Bam Bam's got to find a way to survive and maybe even do more than that. He was knocked down in the last round, And here, you know, all eyes are on his status here to start this round.
Well, Joe, don't put too much on his plate in this kind of situation. Right now, surviving would be enough. He can worry about winning later on.
Solid left hand to the head. Good flush shot upstairs. Keeping his hands up, getting rid of his opponent's offense. He returns the favor with an uppercut. And there's the left hand working well for him again. The jab has been able to carry the night for him so far. Why so, Teddy?
Well, first of all, he's been able to get it off at the right time. His opponent, that sweet spot, you know, you hear about that in baseball. You want to just hit that ball in the sweet spot. Well, the jab, he's catching his opponent just as he's starting to get into his range before he can get off.
How about that left hand? Lands flush with the combination upstairs. Good step back counter punch there. Nice work with the double jab to the midsection. Very effective with the block and then the score. This is it, 10th and final round as they face off against each other. Doubling up the jab now. Nice work, great technique. The combo lands. Comes right back with some offense of his own. Now that's boxing 101, the counter punch by Bam Bam. I think it has come to that point. He's behind on the cards. He's just got to be. Going to take a knockout to win this?
Yeah, I think so. And it's going to take a certain kind of attitude or strategy, a change in strategy. You go into the fights, you don't look for a knockout. You're looking to use your jab. You're looking to set up punches. You're looking to go rounds. Right now, he's got to find a way to get a knockout. Look for one punch. One big punch right now.
Time to bring it home. Final minute of the final round. He took a shot, but he gives one of his own. A left hand scores. And there he counters back against his opponent. He gets hit, but he gives it right back. Good flush, straight left hand. Good looking two-punch combination there. Trying to time that straight left hand, and he does so with ease. Very good, steady double jab there. Completely one-sided fight. At least that's the way we saw it.
Yeah, I mean, if you saw it any other way, you'd have to put a warning out the next time these judges judge a fight, kind of like on a pack of cigarettes. You know, this could be hazardous to your health. I mean, these guys could be hazardous to your career if they scored any other way.
Here's the official decision. A unanimous decision. Teddy, your scorecard falls in line, and everybody here in the arena knows exactly what happened tonight.
Yeah, this was an easy one. I mean, I think that you would have had a big problem with the crowd, not to mention me, your broadcaster right here, if these judges gave it any other way.
It was a good one indeed. And for Teddy Atlas, I'm Joe Tessitore. Thanks for being with us. We'll see you next time at the fights.